Welcome to Mythos AI, your source for Cliff's Notes on complex subjects. Join Anna and Phil for yet another engaging conversation.
Welcome back. Today we're going to be exploring the answer to Quizzypedia, Season 207, Question 13.
Okay.
The category is landmarks.
Right.
The question is this: what is the name of the sea cliffs located on the western coast of Ireland, rising to heights of over 200 meters and stretching along the Atlantic Ocean for about 14 kilometers?
Mm-hmm.
These cliffs are one of Ireland's most visited tourist attractions and offer breathtaking views of the Aran Islands and Galway Bay.
Of course, the answer is the Cliffs of Moher.
So let's take a deep dive into what makes the Cliffs of Moher so unique,
Okay.
starting with their geological formation.
The Cliffs of Moher are primarily composed of Nemurian shale and sandstone. These sedimentary rocks were formed over 300 million years ago
Wow.
from layers of sediment that accumulated on the ocean floor. Over time, these layers were compacted and solidified, creating the bedrock of the cliffs.
So the very composition of the cliffs makes them susceptible to the forces of erosion, particularly from the Atlantic Ocean.
Precisely. The relentless pounding of waves against the cliffs has carved out the dramatic landscape we see today. The sea stacks, caves, and arches that make the Cliffs of Moher so visually stunning.
Right.
It's a dynamic landscape, constantly being shaped and reshaped by the erosive power of the ocean.
This dynamic interplay between rock and sea isn't just a geological phenomenon.
Right.
It's also deeply entwined with Irish mythology and folklore.
Yes, the Cliffs of Moher hold a significant place in Irish storytelling. For example, the cliffs are associated with the Seoga, the sea fairies said to inhabit the waters below.
Okay.
They're often portrayed as beautiful and enchanting, but also potentially dangerous,
I see.
reflecting the unpredictable nature of the sea itself.
And there are stories connecting the cliffs to legendary heroes as well, right?
Of course, the mythical hero Cuchulainn is said to have battled a sea giant atop the cliffs. Another famous tale involves the witch, Mel, who, according to legend, fell in love with Cuchulainn and met her demise at Hag's Head, the southernmost point of the cliffs, which is named after her.
So the Cliffs of Moher are not just a geological wonder, but also a place where myth and reality intersect,
Yeah.
where the stories of ancient Ireland are woven into the very fabric of the landscape.
Exactly. These legends add a layer of mystique and cultural significance to the cliffs, making them all the more fascinating.
Shifting our focus from myth to reality, the Cliffs of Moher are also known for their incredible biodiversity.
They're designated as a special protection area for birds, providing a vital habitat for a diverse range of seabird species. You'll find thousands of puffins, razorbills, and guillemots nesting on the cliffs.
Oh, wow.
Their calls filling the air.
Amongst these, the Atlantic puffin, with its brightly colored beak and comical waddle, stands out as a particular favorite for bird watchers.
Indeed. And it's not just the birds that contribute to the rich biodiversity of the area. The cliff tops are also home to a variety of wildflowers, such as sea pinks and thrift, which add splashes of color to the rugged landscape.
So the Cliffs of Moher support a thriving ecosystem, showcasing the resilience of life, even in a seemingly harsh environment. This ecological diversity, combined with the dramatic scenery and cultural significance, makes the Cliffs of Moher a major tourist destination.
Absolutely. They attract over 1.5 million visitors annually, making them one of Ireland's most popular attractions.
Wow.
This popularity has been further boosted by their appearances in films like Harry Potter and The Half-Blood Prince and The Princess Bride, which have introduced the cliffs to a global audience.
To manage this influx of visitors while ensuring the protection of the site, the Cliffs of Moher visitor experience was established.
Yes, the visitor experience plays a crucial role in providing information, facilities, and guided tours while promoting responsible tourism and minimizing the impact on the environment.
So it's a delicate balancing act, promoting tourism for its economic benefits while ensuring the long-term preservation of the cliffs.
The Cliffs of Moher visitor experience also highlights the accessibility efforts made to ensure that everyone can enjoy the cliffs. There are well-maintained pathways and viewing platforms allowing visitors of all abilities to experience the breathtaking views.
So we've talked about the formation of the Cliffs of Moher,
Right.
their significance in Irish mythology and folklore,
Yes.
the diverse ecosystem they support, and their popularity as a tourist destination. Let's move on to the actual views and attractions that visitors can experience.
From the cliffs, you can enjoy panoramic views of the vast Atlantic Ocean,
Wow.
the Aran Islands with their unique landscapes, and Galway Bay.
So on a clear day, you can even see the 12 bends, a mountain range in Connemara in the distance.
On a clear day, you can.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's really something.
And what about O'Brien's Tower? It seems to be a prominent landmark on the cliffs.
O'Brien's Tower,
Yeah.
built in the 19th century. Okay.
It stands near the highest point of the cliffs and serves as a popular observation point.
I see.
It offers unparalleled views and adds a touch of historical charm to the experience.
So it's not just a natural wonder.
Right.
It's also a site with historical significance.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then there's Hag's Head at the southern end of the cliffs.
Mm-hmm.
This dramatic rock formation shaped like a woman's head
Wow.
adds another layer of intrigue, especially when you consider its connection to the legend of the witch, Mal.
It's a place where geology, mythology, and folklore converge.
Yeah.
It's remarkable.
Indeed. And for those who enjoy exploring on foot, there are numerous walking trails and vantage points in the surrounding areas, making the Cliffs of Moher a haven for hikers and nature enthusiasts.
Given the cliff's popularity and ecological importance, conservation efforts are paramount.
Absolutely. Maintaining the balance between tourism and conservation is a top priority.
Right.
The Cliffs of Moher Coastal Walk, for instance, was designed with sustainability in mind.
Ensuring that the pathways and viewpoints minimize the impact on the natural environment.
And what about the role of Clare County Council and environmental agencies in protecting the cliffs?
Clare County Council, which manages the site, works closely with environmental agencies to protect the local biodiversity and ensure that tourism doesn't come at the cost of the cliff's natural beauty.
Okay.
They implement various measures, including controlled visitor access to minimize foot traffic in sensitive areas,
Right.
and educational programs to raise awareness about respecting the local flora and fauna.
Natural erosion must be a major concern as well.
It is. The cliffs are constantly exposed to the powerful Atlantic waves.
Yeah.
And erosion is a natural process. To address this challenge, several measures have been implemented,
Okay.
including rock reinforcement to strengthen the cliff structure.
Can you elaborate on how rock reinforcement works?
Rock reinforcement involves techniques like rock bolting and shotcrete application. Rock bolting involves drilling long steel bolts into the cliff face to reinforce weak sections and prevent rock falls. Shotcrete, on the other hand, is a sprayed concrete mixture used to coat the cliff face,
Right.
providing a protective layer against weathering and erosion.
Are there any concerns about the visual impact of these techniques?
While effective, these techniques can be visually intrusive if not carefully implemented.
Yeah.
However, the authorities prioritize minimizing the visual impact by using color-matched shotcrete that blends in with the natural rock color
I see.
and strategically placing rock bolts to minimize their visibility.
It's reassuring to know that they are taking steps to preserve the natural aesthetics of the cliffs while ensuring their structural integrity.
Indeed, and let's not forget that the Cliffs of Moher are part of a UNESCO Global Geopark.
Oh, wow.
This designation recognizes the area's geological and ecological significance
Right.
and highlights the importance of conservation and sustainable management. The geopark designation promotes a holistic approach to conservation, encompassing not only the cliffs themselves, but also the wider landscape,
Okay.
cultural heritage, and local communities.
So it's not just about protecting the rocks, but also about preserving the cultural and ecological context in which they exist.
Precisely, the geopark designation encourages sustainable tourism, community engagement, and education, all of which contribute to the long-term preservation of the Cliffs of Moher.
This collaborative approach seems essential for addressing the complex challenges and opportunities associated with managing a site like the Cliffs of Moher.
It recognizes that preserving the cliffs requires a multifaceted approach that considers not only the physical landscape, but also the social, economic, and cultural dimensions.
And what about the role of public awareness and education in the conservation efforts?
Fostering a sense of stewardship among visitors and the wider public is paramount for the long-term preservation of the Cliffs of Moher. This is achieved through various means, including interpretive signage along walking trails,
Interactive exhibits at the visitor center, and educational programs targeting different age groups.
Right.
They highlight the geological significance of the cliffs, the importance of respecting the natural environment, the impacts of human activities, and the simple things visitors can do to minimize their impact.
So it's about empowering people to become informed and responsible stewards of this natural treasure.
Exactly. By understanding the value and vulnerability of the Cliffs of Moher, people are more likely to appreciate and protect them. This approach to conservation, focusing on education and community engagement, seems to be paying off.
Right.
The Cliffs of Moher are a testament to how effective conservation efforts can be when combined with a genuine commitment to sustainability and community involvement.
While the cliffs face the constant challenge of erosion, the measures in place, coupled with the collaborative efforts of various stakeholders, provide hope for their long-term preservation.
Indeed, the Cliffs of Moher stand as a symbol of the delicate balance between nature and human interaction,
Reminding us of the importance of responsible stewardship for the enjoyment and preservation of our planet's natural wonders.
So far, we've explored a lot about the Cliffs of Moher, their geology, their place in Irish culture, their biodiversity, the efforts to balance tourism and conservation.
Right.
Now let's turn our attention to the future
Okay.
and consider the potential impacts of climate change on this iconic landscape.
Climate change is a global challenge
Mm-hmm.
with far-reaching consequences, and coastal areas like the Cliffs of Moher are particularly vulnerable.
Right.
Rising sea levels, increased storm intensity changes, and precipitation patterns
Yeah.
all can have significant impacts on coastal erosion.
How might these factors specifically affect the Cliffs of Moher?
Well, rising sea levels lead to increased wave energy at the base of the cliffs,
Wow.
accelerating erosion.
I see.
More frequent and intense storms batter the cliffs with powerful waves causing undercutting
Right.
and potentially triggering landslides, changes in precipitation. Particularly, an increase in heavy rainfall can saturate the soil, making it more susceptible to erosion and slope instability.
What steps are being taken to assess and address these potential impacts?
Ongoing research and monitoring are crucial.
Okay.
Scientists are using advanced techniques like LIDAR,
LIDAR?
which stands for light detection, and ranging
Okay.
to create highly detailed 3D models of the cliffs.
Wow.
This allows them to track changes in the cliff face over time with millimeter precision.
So it's like having a high-resolution, time-lapse view of the cliff's evolution.
Precisely. This data is then used to model the potential impacts of different climate change scenarios, which informs decision-making in terms of conservation and management.
What adaptation strategies are being considered to protect the cliffs?
Well, several options are being explored. Nature-based solutions include restoring coastal ecosystems like salt marshes and sand dunes,
Okay.
which act as natural buffers against wave energy and erosion.
Right.
Engineered approaches might involve reinforcing vulnerable sections of the cliffs, improving drainage systems to prevent soil saturation, or even considering managed retreat in extreme cases.
What does managed retreat entail?
It involves strategically relocating infrastructure and facilities away from the coastline in areas where erosion is unavoidable.
I see.
It's a last resort,
Right.
but might become necessary in certain scenarios.
So the future of the Cliffs of Moher, like many coastal areas worldwide, is intertwined with our ability to mitigate climate change and adapt to its impacts.
Absolutely. The challenges are significant, but so are the efforts to understand and address them.
Right.
Combining cutting-edge research, innovative adaptation strategies, and a commitment to sustainable management offers hope for the long-term preservation of this iconic landscape.
The Cliffs of Moher stand as a testament to the beauty and fragility of our planet, inspiring us to act decisively to address the challenges of climate change and protect our natural heritage for generations to come. This concludes our deep dive into the Cliffs of Moher.
Yes.
We've explored their geological origins,
Right.
their place in Irish myth and history, their rich biodiversity, the efforts to balance tourism and conservation, and the potential impacts of climate change.
It's been a fascinating discussion.
We hope this deep dive has provided you with a deeper appreciation for this remarkable natural wonder. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for listening to Mythos AI. Stay tuned for more concise insights. And remember to hit the like button and subscribe for future episodes.